Hello, everybody. It's me, that one weeb here, back with another episode for episode 3 of What If Naruto Was a Demigod. You guys have been so receptive to this What If, and if this video is either coming out today when I'm recording it because of the support and getting 100 likes on the last video in a day, which is amazing and it's never happened before. So that's really cool, and my channel just had a big burst of people come in. So for everyone new here, welcome. People watching who are new to my channel, feel free to subscribe. I think I'm a pretty chill person, and all the subs, everybody's pretty cool. And I just wanted to say, because these videos are super popular, and I've been trying to promote it more, and I really want everyone to see it. I have a Discord server, actually, that is my official Discord server for the channel. There's a link in my About section on my YouTube page if you want to click that, if you have a Discord account, or you can make one. And we basically talk about anime there. There's not too many people there now. I have like 10 people, like 10 of you guys who have clicked that. But if we got everyone on the channel to join, it'd be pretty fun, because I'm planning on doing some live stream and community recording sessions where I play with you guys, and we play video games Naruto games, or we do Mafia on Discord's chat, or we do karaoke nights or something. It'd be kind of fun, but I really want us to have a cool community together, because the whole reason I started this channel was so I could hang out with other people who are weebs. So yeah, but sorry, that's my promo for the channel. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video if you want more of these, and let's just get right back into the story. I think you guys really like this one. Naruto is walking away from Gaara and the Sand Trio when something comes out of the corner of his eye. He sees a younger child, someone who looks to be about the age of 8 or 9, running around the corner with dark red hair and blood red eyes. He rushes around the corner and runs right into the back of Gaara and says, "Brother, you can't leave me back there. Come on. Dad said that you should watch over me when we're in this village so I don't get hurt." Naruto turns around and sees that Gaara is looking annoyed. Three siblings then turn around at their younger sibling who was dragged with them, and they sigh annoyingly. Gaara complains about how their dad always forces them to take him everywhere, and how he's such a burden, and that he'd just kill him now if he didn't get so mad at him. He then drags the brat along a hand and continues to walk. He then continues walking down the opposite path. Naruto thinks about this and then walks away with his team, wondering why he didn't mention about his other younger brother before. Naruto gets to a field where him and the rest sit down and they have lunch. When they're sitting down, they think about the Chunin exams, is what he said, and as if right on cue, Kakashi-sensei comes bursting out of a tree while he's reading his Makeout Paradise and says, "Hey there, guys. You ready for something called the Chunin exams that I might have forgotten to tell you about?" Both Sasuke and Naruto say "what?" in a kind of excited and also dull tone, if you can imagine that. Kakashi is basically late and forgot to mention it since they were so busy with the last mission and everything that happened. Kakashi explains to them what the Chunin exams are and how he explains the rank system, that right now they're Genin, which is the lowest rank in the ninja society, where you get paid the least and also you're generally weaker than everyone else. Chunin are the middle in all of ninja society, where they're pretty much the average. Most ninja are Chunin by the time that they're adults, and they stay that way for most of the time, unless you grow and gain more experience to the point where you can become a Jonin, the highest paid ninja rank, who get the highest missions and have the chance of becoming the Hokage one day. Naruto's excited about this and says that he wants to become a Jonin, and can you just skip the Chunin tests? Kakashi smiles and laughs and tells him that if it were only that easy. He then tells Naruto that as an entire team they have to agree if they want to do it or not. Naruto and Sasuke and Sakura all decide on doing it, since Sakura agrees since both her crushes want to do it, so of course she would try and make them happy that she agrees to do it. They all decide to do the Chunin exams and begin training for the next day. Sasuke trains with Naruto by practicing Naruto's new jutsu, and Naruto helps Sasuke unlock his Sharingan. For the next few days before the Chunin exams start, Naruto helps by pushing his own chakra into Sasuke's eye, and Sasuke forcing his own chakra against Naruto's chakra. It's not even a fair contest, but by doing this, Naruto has helped Sasuke be used to expanding the chakra in his eyes, and by the last day before the Chunin exams, Sasuke has just unlocked his one Tomo Sharingan. At that point, Naruto then says that they can both use their dojutsu, as that's what Naruto calls his. Sasuke activates his Sharingan for a quick spar before the actual Chunin exams, and Naruto activates his Eagle Eye. Naruto says this, and then electricity begins to bubble from his chakra. He forms about half of his chakra into his left eye, which causes a severe strain on his face, but it looks kind of like his veins are popping. Anyway, his eye begins to turn light blue, and electricity begins to sizzle around as the electricity gets faster and the crackling starts to become like a popping noise. Naruto slows it down so the electricity is slower and flows over where the eye is. He practices fighting against Sasuke and what this eye can actually do. Sasuke then asks Naruto why he calls it the Eagle Eye. Naruto actually thinks this is a good question. He then tells Sasuke that he had an odd dream when he had first unlocked this ability back at the Land of Waves. And he was up in the sky, and it seemed as though he was a bird, and that seemed very fitting to this ability, so he decided to name it the Eagle Eye. As well as he explained to Sasuke that he can see these things that he likes to call chakra hubs. Sasuke is interested in this and actually is pretty much able to see them as well. He tells Naruto that their visual prowess must probably be on the same level as the Sharingan, at least at the one Tomo form. And he then explains and asks Naruto if there's perhaps a second or third form, like with the Sharingan having 1 Tomoe, 2 Tomoe, and 3 Tomoe. Naruto doesn't know, but then decides that he could try putting more chakra in his eye. He can't seem to get any more than he already put in there and decides he doesn't want to push it too far or to hurt his vision. Naruto then tries to test how far he can see. He puts his hand over his right eye and then looks out as far as he can. 1 mile. He then asks Sasuke if that's normal for the Sharingan as well. Sasuke says it's not that far. The Sharingan isn't meant to be long range like the Byakugan. It's more like a short range visual jutsu that you can use to copy other jutsus. At that point, Naruto thinks that his jutsu must be similar to the Sharingan and Byakugan, but not quite. He then decides to stop for the day and says he'll work on his Eagle Eye later. Naruto then spends the rest of his time before the Chunin exams training and practicing the hand seals to make the lightning release, as well as the lightning stream and his lightning sphere. Naruto thinks that he's got this under control, and then he decides to do a little bit of studying up on throwing some shuriken, as well as talking to Sasuke and Sakura. The day finally comes, and Naruto heads over to the building that Kakashi had told him would be. Sasuke and Sakura meet up with Naruto, and Sakura's blushing and says that she'll do her best. Sasuke and Naruto just look at her for a minute. They then walk into the building, while Sakura's embarrassed. They walk up to the 3rd floor, and then Sasuke and Naruto, as well as Sakura, realize this. Naruto's gained a lot of resistance to Genjutsu ever since opening his eye, the Eagle Eye. It has developed some sort of resistance to Genjutsu inside of him, and due to this, the Genjutsu doesn't affect him, and he basically can see right through it. Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura push past the Chunin who are trying to mess with them and walk into the room, before Rock Lee and Neji even get there. Once Rock Lee and Neji do get there, they also see through this and push through them into the room. Rock Lee sees Sasuke, Naruto, and Sakura, and then tells his team, Neji and Tenten, to keep going and that he has something that he wants to talk about. He walks in and then points at Naruto and Sasuke and says that he's going to fight for Sakura's love and that he wants to challenge both of them at the same time. Naruto tells him that's not a really good idea since they're going to an exam right now, and that seems pretty immature. Sasuke doesn't care and goes right into the attack. He throws a Phoenix Flower Jutsu right at Rock Lee's face, and Rock Lee uses his fist to block it. His bandages actually get a little burnt from this as Sasuke's gotten stronger. Naruto rushes in, and then he pulses a little bit of electricity into his hand, just enough to stun Rock Lee and not fry him to death. He then punches Rock Lee with this lightning lariat kind of mock lariat. He punches Rock Lee, and Rock Lee feels a shiver down his spine as he actually got connected by a hit. He then recovers from the stun and his muscles tightening up and continues fighting. He's contemplating actually opening the first gate because he's getting overwhelmed by Sasuke and Naruto as a tag team. He probably should have only challenged one of them. Guy Sensei comes flying out of nowhere and kicks both Rock Lee, Sasuke, and Naruto in the head with his leg. They all go flying against a wall, and Naruto and Sasuke get up while holding their heads with a little tear coming out of their eye. Rock Lee gets up and says he's sorry, Guy Sensei, and Guy Sensei nods and holds a finger up, and he gives a thumbs up to them and says that it's good because they have youthful energy and joy, but they should be putting that to the exam and not fighting each other. Rock Lee, Sasuke, and Naruto nod, and then they all head into the exam. Naruto sees what's going on inside the room, and he sees all of his fellow Genin sitting down at chairs, including people from his class that he remembers, like Hinata, as well as some other people. Naruto goes and takes his seat where he's designated to, which is conveniently right next to Hinata. When Hinata sees Naruto, she blushes immensely, and she just says, "Hi, Naruto-kun." Naruto pretty much ignores this and says hello to Hinata nicely. He then gets ready for the test. Naruto figures out pretty quickly, actually, that this test isn't about actually knowing the answers. And in fact, it's about gathering information like most ninja have to do on missions. Naruto discreetly covers his left side of his face with his hand and activates his lightning release. He pushes the lightning release into his eye, and then his unlock happens. He whispers, "Eagle Eye," and his eagle eye awakens. Naruto internally thinks about how his eagle eye works, and he then uses this to find the chakra hub points in all of the people in that room's fingers while they're writing. He mimics the hand movements and gets the answers for all the questions. He then, finally, gets the last question. Him and the rest of Team 7 all are very confident in their scores, and they pass the exam. Anko comes into the room and says that it's time for all of this test stuff to be over, and it's time to test their real abilities, their combat in-fight ability. Naruto's excited for this and gets out of his chair. Naruto stands and then puts his test down and thanks everyone for coming with. He then tells Sakura and Sasuke and says that they're going to ace this next exam. Naruto walks out of the room and he thinks about this new test and something about the Forest of Death. When Naruto gets there to the forest, he can sense that there's some people with extremely high chakra levels near there. Nothing like similar to what that kid named Haku had, or he thinks that was his name before he died. Naruto then looks at Sasuke and Sakura, and they stand together as a team. Anko passes out the scrolls, and they get an Earth Scroll. The rest of the teams spread out and disapparate into the forest. Once Naruto and his team get to their spot, they rush into the forest, and Anko tells the entire teams to have their good luck and get to the tower. Naruto is rushing through the woods and tells Sasuke and Sakura that he's going to blitz ahead. Naruto activates lightning release around his body, and this boosts his chakra, and he pushes it into his legs. Naruto blitzes forward, and only a streak of blue energy is seen behind him as he continues rushing around. He is running around and runs into the same people who, in the original timeline, knocked out Naruto and took him out and then tied him up while he went to the bathroom. Naruto in this timeline finds them, and then with one strike, he uses a lightning stream and knocks all three of them out. And conveniently, they had a heaven scroll. He picks it up excitedly and rushes back to his group. He then, once he gets there, explains to Sasuke and Sakura what he found. Both of them are extremely excited, and they agree that they should just head to the main tower right away. They all start blitzing towards the main tower, when suddenly, a burst of air, trees, and despair hits Naruto and the rest of the group. Orochimaru, or what we know him to be as the Grass Ninja hiding, Orochimaru dives out of the forest with a giant snake, prepared to eat Naruto. Naruto in this timeline doesn't get eaten, however, and instead, with his quick reaction time, he reaches his hand to his pocket, pulls out his golden and celestial bronze scythe, and begins to spin it. The scythe grows and grows until it becomes the wickedly sharp blade. He slices the snake in two with one strike, and its body and blood corpse all go through the forest, causing blood to stain the trees and grass. Orochimaru looks at this kid, who seems strong, buff, and agile. He looks at Orochimaru, and Naruto and Orochimaru make eye contact for a second. Orochimaru then dives at Sasuke. Sasuke, who's not expecting this, activates his Sharingan at last second and dodges out of the way. Sakura gets hit by Orochimaru's attack, and she goes flying into a tree, knocked out. Sakura is basically falling to the ground when Naruto catches her and lays her down softly. Naruto then blitzes towards Sasuke and Orochimaru, who are fighting. Sasuke uses the Fireball Jutsu, and it basically bounces off of Orochimaru's attack. Then, Orochimaru wasn't expecting it. Sasuke is intercepted from this Fireball attack, and it's reflected back, as Naruto uses his wind style that he has and pushes it with an air blast. He slashes the wind in front of him, and a big pulse of air shoots the Fireball, which had originally been deflected, back at Orochimaru. Orochimaru is engulfed in flames, and Naruto and Sasuke are victorious. Orochimaru comes from behind the tree as he used a wood block disappearing jutsu. Once he appears out from the substitution jutsu, then Orochimaru rushes at Sasuke, trying to give him the curse mark. At this point, Naruto sees his chance. Orochimaru's neck is extended, and Naruto, with his speed increased, jumps forward. He pulls his scythe back and slashes. Orochimaru's head topples from his shoulders and falls to the ground, blood spooling out of it as his body shakes around. The head grows back on Orochimaru, and he decides to take care of this kid first. He pushes Sasuke back a few hundred meters as Sasuke falls into a tree and then falls to the ground. He asks the kid, who seems to have a lot of lightning release abilities, asks what is his name. Naruto replies and tells him that his name is Naruto Uzumaki, and that he's going to become the Hokage of the Village of the Leaves. He then walks towards Orochimaru with his scythe at hand. Orochimaru sees this weapon and wonders what it is, what it's made out of. Its glint and shine is never like anything he's seen before. Orochimaru rushes forward and uses his snake jutsu, going all out as this kid's been too much of a pain in his side ever since they met, and he has to kill him. At this point, Naruto slashes as fast as he can with his scythe, cutting up every single snake into tiny bits, as their bodies fall to the ground and they disappear as Orochimaru's chakra slowly is depleting. At this point, Naruto walks even more calmly forward. He then activates his eagle eye in his left eye. Orochimaru sees this as Naruto's electrical eye pulses into view, and he splits his forehead at Orochimaru, stabbing him in the chest with his scythe. He tells Orochimaru that if he ever attempts to hurt his team or him again, then he'll kill him. Orochimaru is then relieved of Naruto's blade as he pulls it out of his body, and Orochimaru, bleeding out of his chest cavity, falls to the ground, disappearing into the snakes and then falling into the dirt. He failed at getting Sasuke this time, but he'll get him next time when that strong kid isn't around. Naruto then rushes as fast as he can, putting his scythe away and deactivating his eagle eye. He rushes back towards where Sakura and Sasuke are and picks up both of them, not knowing what he's going to do now that both his teammates are knocked out. Naruto rushes into the woods to the same spot where Sakura hit both of her teammates before in the original timeline. This little grove of trees, Naruto places his two teammates in and protects them, waiting for a bit. As he's sitting there, he continues to think about what happened with that guy and how strong he was. That guy couldn't have been a Genin level for sure. Naruto continues to think about this, and he decides that must have been a spy or some sort of enemy ninja village trying to ruin the Chunin exams. But why? At this point, then he sees someone come into view, and wait a minute, what? He sees that kid from before, the one with the dark red hair and the bright red eyes that would claim to be Gaara's younger brother. At this point, Naruto's just confused, as he thought that this kid was 7 or 6 or younger. He didn't understand why someone that young would be in the Chunin exams at all. He then walks out of the grove and decides to save him. He rushes forward, and with his scythe that he just was about to put away, he then slashes at the 3 sound ninja, cutting them and making them pass out from the wounds. As they fall to the ground, he then ties them up to the tree, and this kid's still shaking from fear of him. He then bends over and bends his knee down to the child and asks who he is and how old he is and what's his name. He then explains to him that his name is my name is Blaze Realis. Naruto's confused and wonders if that's even Gaara's last name. He then asks him if he's related to Gaara and the 3 ninja, and that he called him brother before. He then says, oh, that. Well, you see, he then explains to Naruto that, well, Gaara's mother and his father were actually his aunt and uncle. See, the Kazekage's younger brother, well, had a wife, and she died, and so did his younger brother. He was their son, and he'd been adopted by them after his parents had died. When he was adopted, he became part of the family, and now he goes on missions with them. That doesn't explain to Naruto, however, why he's so young looking and why he's doing the Chunin exams. He tells Naruto that he's actually 12 years old, and just because he's short doesn't mean that he can't do stuff like a real ninja. He huffs and puffs and then tells Naruto he's gonna go and find his siblings and that he'll see him later, and thanks for saving him. He then runs off, and Naruto, not thinking about it at first, realizes after a few minutes that that kid had immortal chakra. He thinks about this and then realizes that it doesn't mean much right now and that he's probably just off from all the fights he's been taking. As he wanders back to his camp and finds Sakura waking up and Sasuke waking up as well, he breathes a sigh of relief and he runs into another adult person there. As he gets there, he sees Kabuto, that same ninja from before with the long bluish, purplish, blondish hair, who wearing some sort of medical ninjutsu kind of clothes. As he walks in, he sees that he's there, and he tells Naruto that he'd help taking care of them while he'd taken care of those guys. He said that he was actually hoping to get to the middle tower himself, and that he was willing to help him out. At that point, Naruto is just confused, but he says that if he agrees to help them and he doesn't betray them, then he won't hurt him. They all decide to band together and head towards the main tower. As Naruto heads towards the main tower, he then thinks about this kid Blaze, and if he's really that young, and what could be going on. From high up in the clouds into the realm of heaven, where Minato, his father, lay, and, Zeus, was watching down. Zeus laughs and then looks over to Hephaestus and says, "Hey, look, your son ran into my son down there. Isn't that strange?" Hephaestus laughs and chuckles and says that they would be some very interesting pair. As he turns to Zeus and they watch back into what's going on with the Chunin exams. Meanwhile, while his father above is watching on Naruto's fights, Naruto is busy being caught in genjutsu, as Kabuto had said that there would be traps laying around him. As Naruto picks his way through the grass, trees, and foliage of the forest, he runs into traps of all kinds and has to deactivate them by either slashing through them with his scythe, using his electric and lightning releases as well as his wind release, and just overall making a pain in his neck. Naruto's frustration is only growing and growing as he continues to get closer to the main tower. And then he gets into that genjutsu from the Rain Ninja, which infinitely puts him in the circle. Naruto is tired of this stuff, and he immediately activates his Eagle Eye. He slashes with his scythe, and then breaks through the genjutsu with sheer force of will. He then yells in a booming voice, "Get me out of this stupid genjutsu!" He then, using his power, breaks through the genjutsu by sheer will of force alone, and Kabuto's impressed. He says that Lord Orochimaru is right to have him keep tabs on this kid. He then decides that he'll have to wait for Sasuke to be alone before he and Orochimaru can intercept him. Naruto then sees the Rain Ninja, and then with one good speed, he blitzes forward with his lightning release, and he activates his lightning sphere, catching all of them in one attack and frying them to the point where they're crispy and all blackened from the soot. Naruto then steps back and relaxes, telling his entire team with a smile that they can continue and get to the main tower. Sakura is kind of terrified of this, as Naruto has never really gotten that angry before, except for when they were back in the Land of Waves. Naruto continues to walk forward, slashing any trees that are in his way down and walking on a straight path. He walks in, and just as the entire team arrives, they run into Gaara's group as well as his younger brother, Blaze. As he sees Blaze, he then waves to him and says hi, and Gaara turns to Blaze and asks if he knows who this guy is. Blaze says nothing and just is quiet and says nothing. They then walk away, and Blaze waves at Naruto. Naruto and the rest of his team then get back into the position as they climb the tower and meet Iruka-sensei. Iruka-sensei explains to them that now that everyone's been there and has made it to the Chunin exam at this stage into the tower, now they'd be doing battle with each other. Naruto's excited as he's been itching for a good fight after that guy with the grass ninja headband. He then is assigned with his attack who he'll be fighting, Kiba. Naruto sighs as he knows that Kiba's nowhere near his level. He'd been hoping to fight someone like Neji Hyuga or Rock Lee, or even Gaara. Then he just hops into the ring as it's his turn, and then he puts away his scythe as he doesn't need it for this guy. As Kiba rushes forward, he turns into his Fang over Fang attack and tells Naruto to not underestimate him. Naruto holds his hand out and electricity bulges through it. He then pulses the electricity into the spinning torpedo that's going at him and grabs Kiba and his dog, Akemaru, and just pulses electricity through their bodies. They begin to frizzle out as the electricity watts just get higher and higher. They then fall to the ground knocked out, and Naruto calmly walks out of the ring, disappointed. Once he climbs up, he then talks to Kakashi about what he saw in the forest and how no one got hurt, but he explains about that ninja. At that point, Kakashi's eyes widen as they don't see Sasuke anywhere, or Kabuto. Naruto with Kakashi run downstairs, and into the dark room they see it. Sasuke being bitten on the neck by Orochimaru, as Orochimaru implants on him the heavenly curse mark. At this point, Naruto's eyes widen, as when he sees this marking, it's strange. It's almost like he's seen it before. Naruto shakes his head and then rushes forward and kicks Orochimaru away from Sasuke, telling him to get off and away from his friend. Kabuto, who hasn't been seen yet, rushes into the darkness, and Kakashi can see someone escaping. He knows that there's a spy somewhere in the Leaf Village now, and now that there's someone there, he's going to have some more higher security. He thinks that he and Naruto might actually stand a chance against Orochimaru, but before they have a chance to attack, Orochimaru escapes and says that he'll get them next time. Once he leaves, he then looks back to Naruto and thinks that he might be a good candidate for his body as well. Orochimaru leaves, and Naruto picks up Sasuke, hoping that he's alright. Sasuke has this strange mark on his neck, and he feels pain and is knocked out. Kakashi picks up Sasuke and says that they can fix him up before his turn. The next few fights turn out the same, with Sakura beating Ino in pretty much the same fashion, and Ino beating Sakura in the same. Them tying, as well as the rest of the matches turning out the same as well. Rock Lee and Gar's fight's more interesting, though, as with Rock Lee going even more all out after having that fight with Sasuke and Naruto, Gar's getting completely infuriated that he's being touched by such weak, inferior beings, and that his meaning of killing people is nothing if he can't just do this one simple guy in. His brother Blaze is watching in horror as Naruto's insanity begins to show from him being the Jinchuriki of the One Tails. Naruto then is about to step in. At that point, when Guy Sensei is about to step in as well, Naruto sees this as the sand wraps around Rock Lee's leg. Naruto, all he can think in his head as he remembers what happened to Sasuke, and he thinks that he won't freeze up this time. He's not going to let his friend get hurt, even if he's just met him a few hours ago, and he knows that Rock Lee is a good guy. He rushes in at full speed, and a blitz of lightning flashes through the entire room. Naruto appears standing and is holding Rock Lee in his arms. He puts Rock Lee down and is holding his golden scythe in front of him. He looks his cold blue eyes into Gaara's red and tells him that if he tries to hurt against any of his friends, if he tries to hurt them, then he'll have to take him down. Guy Sensei jumps in as well and says that any student shouldn't be destroyed, even if they aren't possessing the power of youth. He then picks up Rock Lee and tells Naruto that to stand down. Gaara comes down from Temari, Conqueror, and Blaze's assistance, and everyone continues on as normal. Neji Hyuga passes against Hinata, and Naruto cheers Hinata on. However, when at this point, when Neji says that hard work will never be able to surpass destiny, and that destiny has its fate for everyone, Naruto slams his hand on the table and looks down at Neji. He tells Neji that even though he didn't have parents and that he didn't have anyone looking out for him, he worked his ass off every day in school. He worked his ass off for 7 years just so he could get strong enough to be better than Sasuke Uchiha, so he could be the best in his class, and he's not going to let someone like that disrespect everything he's worked for. He tells Neji that if they get to fight in the next exam, Naruto pounds his fists together and a big spark of electricity and thunder clap through the room. Then he's going to give him hell. He tells Neji that he'll see him at the battlefield, and that part of the Chunin exams is over. Naruto heads back into town and wraps his scythe away, thinking about everything that's occurred with Orochimaru as he knows now, and Kakashi thankfully sealed Sasuke's curse mark. He's never going to know what happened to him, but he's going to hope that his friend Sasuke's okay. Naruto then gets into a fighting position and begins training by himself with trees. This is when an old man comes out of the woods and appears to be drunk, is walking away, thinking and talking about girls. Naruto is pretty much doing the same training and ignores the old man, when the old man comes behind him sober and asks what his name is. Naruto turns and says that his name was Naruto Uzumaki. Then Jiraiya the Toad Sage, tells Naruto who he is and that he wants to train him. Naruto's shocked and surprised, and then he agrees as long as he can beat him in a fight. Naruto then challenges Jiraiya to a fight, and the Jiraiya-Naruto training arc begins. If you guys want to see Naruto train for the next month, as well as the final battle at the Chunin exams, then make sure to hit the like button, comment, and subscribe below what you thought of this part. I'll see you guys next time, and bye.